Miriam, where were you this afternoon? You skipped the Moms Club meeting again. I have to say we're getting more concerned about your frequent absence. Is this something we need to be concerned about? Hi, Dory. Oh gosh, I totally forgot about it till you just mentioned it. Thanks for reminding me. Yes, but you do realize that the meeting is over now, don't you? Right. Oh gosh. Look, I'm so sorry about that. It just totally slipped my mind. I'll have you know that you were the only one who was absent today. And you know this wasn't the first time as well. Correct? Yeah. I have missed quite a few of those meetings, haven't I? We don't officially state that this meeting is mandatory. However, there is an unwritten rule where we require all of the members to attend once a month. May I ask why this seems to be such a challenge for you? Dory, I understand. I really do. And again, I am so sorry for missing it again. I've been so tied up with work. I honestly just forgot. You forgot? Is that your excuse? Well, yes. I mean, it's the truth. I'm just being honest here. Well, that's barely acceptable. This is the most important meeting for us mothers, and you should know that. If I may say, that's quite a disgrace. If your child comes first, then surely these meetings should have a higher priority over anything else that you do. Don't you agree? Well, yes, but I was bombarded with meetings and deadlines at work. Like I said, it just slipped my mind. I actually knew I wasn't going to be able to make it. I just forgot to tell you about it. I had it written on a Post-it and I stuck it on my PC screen. Right. Gosh, this sounds like a lame excuse, I know. But I'm so sorry, Dory. I feel really bad that I missed another one of these meetings. Well, I won't be hearing any more of these excuses next time. You have to attend, Miriam. Otherwise, the kindergarten events won't go as smoothly. I understand. May I remind you that the upcoming Christmas and New Year event is the biggest event for all of our children and their families? You partaking in these meetings and events will make a huge impact on how much fun the children can have. Right. I do understand. You missed the Halloween event last month, and you know what a success that was. Right. I wish I could have been there for that one too. But if it was a success, then maybe that means that you can manage totally fine without me? If anything, it sounds like you don't even need me to be there. That is not true. Do you know how much extra work we had to put in to cover for you? Do you know how much easier it could have been to have another helping hand? Oh, okay. Sorry. So when is the next meeting? I'll make sure to attend that one. I'll pencil it in my calendar right now. You will be notified about that in our email, which we'll send within the next few days. Okay. By the way, do you think you could possibly have these meetings at a different time? Meaning? Meaning any time besides in the afternoons on a weekday? How about in the mornings on a weekend? And give me one good reason as to why we should adjust our regular monthly meetings to suit your plans. Oh, no. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant to say that I'm sure there are other mothers who would appreciate a change in the hours too. There are a few other moms besides me who work like I do, right? Maybe if we voted on it or something, we can come up with a better solution to make sure that everyone can attend. What do you think? Well, that sounds absurd. There's no reason for us to do that. So far, you are the only one who has been absent. Other mothers who work are still making it to the meetings during their lunch hours. Why can't you? Don't be so selfish here, Miriam. But those meetings are often at inconvenient times for other people who work. Weekday lunch hours aren't exactly the best times. Well, other people seem to be able to make it. And besides, afternoon tea is a perfect way for us mothers to discuss important matters in a relaxed atmosphere. Well, okay. But how about joining online then? I mean, do we physically have to be present at the meetings? Why, yes, of course. But wouldn't you rather have… Oh, stop retaliating. Just hush. I won't have you mocking me just because I'm a stay-at-home wife. What the… No, that's not what I meant. I know exactly what you meant. How dare you insult me like that? What? No! Just because you have a job, do you think you can look down on those of us who don't? Or are you simply jealous that you can't have afternoon tea or go out shopping so freely like us? Which one is it?
Neither of those. Honestly, there's a bit of a misunderstanding here. I definitely don't look down on you or anyone else, and I'm not jealous of all the free time that you get. I mean, sure, a bit more time would be nice, but I'm not exactly jealous of that. I have the weekends free for all of that. So yeah, there's a bit of a misunderstanding here, so I wanted to clear that out.
I see.
I just think that maybe there's a better way to manage these meetings. For example, how about if someone were to write up a short summary of the meeting and sends it to everyone? You know, in bullet point form or something? So that for those of us who don't attend, for whatever reason, they can be kept in the loop.
Ah! And you call yourself a mother like that?
Excuse me?
Poor Halsey. Do you think that she'll be okay with that?
I'm sorry? What does my daughter have to do with any of this?
Well, if you keep going like this, Halsey will be left out if not bullied by everyone. And we don't want that now, do we?
I'm really not following here. What on earth do you mean by that?
Well, you see, if the moms all have a good friendship between each other, then that will reflect well on all of our children. Happy mothers, happy children, if you like. But if not, that will only show how much of a terrible example we are as adults and as mothers who don't get along with each other.
Right.
What kind of mother would want to set a bad example for them? Maybe when Halsey becomes a teenager, she'll go about her own way like a lone wolf too. Like you, Miriam.
Sorry, but I don't think Halsey has got anything to do with all of this. And besides, if the mothers can't attend a meeting for work reasons, then isn't that setting a good example?
How so?
Well, they'll see how career-oriented their mothers are. As women, don't you think that's setting a great example for our daughters?
See? There you go again. Belittling me like that just because I don't have a job like you do.
No! Oh, jeez. That's not what I meant. Please, I didn't mean it like that.
How dare you insult me like that again?
No. All I'm saying is that there are other moms who work too. And I want to make sure that everyone is given an equal chance to do what they can for their children. Myself included. Don't you get similar complaints from the other mothers too?
Absolutely not. Like I said, most of them do their best to attend every single time.
Well, so do I. And I keep telling you that I will try to do so going forward. I promise.
Oh, maybe I need a word with your husband too then.
Ray? Why would you need to talk to Ray?
I mean, if you think about it, the reason why you have to work is because he doesn't earn enough to provide for the family. Right? If he had more income, then perhaps you wouldn't have to work so hard and essentially miss our meetings. Poor thing.
So, hang on a second. First, you brought my daughter into this, and now my husband. Please. This was my fault. So don't bring them into the picture. Okay?
Poor you. I know it's not like me and my family are the wealthiest people around here, but at least my husband earns enough to provide us the luxury of comfort. Poor Halsey. She doesn't have any of that, does she?
Well, no. But we manage just fine. She knows we love her, and she loves us back too. I don't understand your point in all of this. This is my family you're talking about. Please stay out of it. It's really none of your business.
I'm just telling you what other moms are thinking, you know. We've all noticed how you hardly go to pick Halsey up from the kindergarten.
That's because Ray finishes work earlier than I do. It just works better if he picks her up on his way home, instead of me at a later time.
Well, usually the mothers pick their children up from school, don't they? Everyone else seems to pick their children up but poor Halsey. She's the only one with her dad picking her up.
I don't think that matters. She loves her dad picking her up anyway. She's a daddy's girl.
Oh, just admit that you're jealous, Miriam. It's okay.
Of what? Of you?
Of our husbands who earn more than yours.
Are you crazy? Are you that self-righteous that you think everyone is jealous of you? I've never thought that.
Oh, of course. I forgot that your husband is just a regular employee. Isn't he? Whereas my husband is in the upper management and on the board of directors in his company. It may be more responsibility, but it's also more money, you see.
Well, yes. Compared to your husband, Ray might be a regular businessman, but so what? He works hard and he loves his job. That's all that matters.
Yes, but don't you think that's unfair on Halsey? Just because he's working in a job he enjoys, you have to work. Which means you don't get to spend as much time with her. Which ultimately means you also miss our mom club meetings.
Well, yes. But no! Stop trying to make sense into this because it doesn't work like that.
I mean, I'm so glad that I'm a stay-at-home mom in that sense. I can give my full attention to my children. And that's the least they deserve from their mother.
Excuse me, but my husband and I take the entire weekends off to spend quality family time with our daughter, too. There's nothing wrong with the way we spend time with her. So I don't think there's any reason for me to be listening to any of this from you. Besides, even if my husband were to get a raise or be filthy rich, that won't change anything. I wouldn't quit what I do. I love my job. Maybe you're the one who's just jealous that I have a career that I love and you don't.
How dare you?
Well, that's what it sounds like.
Absolutely not. And besides, what kind of job is that good that you would choose work over your family? You must be insane.
I'm sorry, but I run my own business. Thank you very much. Well, technically, I run it with my brother, so we're co-owners. But it's a long-running family business. My brother is the CEO of the company, and I'm the senior vice president.
What?
What? No, I'm sure you're surprised since I don't go around flaunting my title to anyone. But seeing as you're so interested in it, I'll have you know that about me.
Right. Well, great.
And by the way, your husband, Jim, was it?
Yes. What about him?
If I remember correctly, he works for BB Trading, doesn't he?
Yes, that's right.
Well then, his company is our client. They've signed contracts with us.
Right. I see.
You do understand what I'm trying to imply here, yes?
Well, yeah.
I guess you're not familiar with how a business works then.
Right. Well, explain it to me then.
So basically, in simple terms, your husband's company needs my company. They buy products from us for their business, and without them, they won't have a running business. Understand?
Right. I don't usually talk to my husband about his business affairs, so this is all gibberish to me.
Just as I thought. You're not interested in your husband or his work, are you? Just his income and his title.
How rude! That's not true.
I would say that you have no right to demean my husband's work if you know nothing about what the business life is like. You clearly have no idea how hard it is to be working. If you dare say anything more about me, my husband, or my daughter, then you need to see what's coming for you.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean by that?
I'll make sure that my company cuts your husband's company off as our client.
What? So you mean you will have him fired?
Not quite, although I wish that were to be the case. It just means that your husband's company could potentially have a huge loss coming for them. Are you following what I'm saying?
Well, you better leave him out of this.
Well, right back at you. Who do you think has been talking about my family like some kind of trash up to this point?
You're right. Yes, you're right. Look, Miriam. Look here.
What?
I'm sorry.
For what?
I'll admit I have said some heartless things about you and your family.
Uh-huh.
So I do apologize for mocking your husband like I did. And for the remarks I made about Halsey.
Mm-hmm. Is that all? Don't you think there's more?
Right. And for talking ill of you, I suppose.
And for what else?
Well, I've said it all, haven't I? What else is there?
You should feel sorry for all of us mothers out here, don't you think?
What do you mean? Why should I feel sorry for them?
For holding the mom meetings, all so that you can talk behind our backs and have nothing but a lame old gossip session instead.
What? But that's absurd and a false accusation.
You can try, but you can't hide it from me, Dory. I know all about it, you know. And seeing as we're on this topic, let me tell you what I know and what I think. and what other people think of you for a change. How they think you're a cheapskate and an extremely selfish person.
What? No, I'm not!
How every time you choose to hold the meetings at some fancy restaurant, and you don't take into consideration how expensive it can be for other people. How you make everyone split the bill and pay for things they didn't even eat.
That's not true!
Oh, really now? Then where did you hold the last meeting, The Kingsley Hotel, right? And the one before that? The Flemingtons?
Oh, but that was a coincidence.
A coincidence? How?
Well, they had a seasonal afternoon tea offer and everyone seemed to want to go there.
I don't think that's what you would call a coincidence. And I haven't finished yet. If the moms tell you that they can't attend the meeting, I know that you talk about them behind their backs. And we all have to listen to you vent. Do you know how that makes us feel?
No! Oh dear. You have it all wrong, Miriam. I'm the host. I'm the organizer of these meetings, so of course I have the right to choose where to go. I just make suggestions and they either agree or disagree. And most of the times, they like where I pick to have our meetings. That's not my fault, is it now?
From what I've heard, you're quite forceful with it. You make them agree to wherever you choose. You better apologize to all of us, individually, about all of this.
You're being over the top here, Miriam, don't you think?
No, I do not. Do you think that you can get away with this? After all you've done to us? Since this text conversation between Miriam and Dory, we all thought that Dory would apologize to all of the mothers who she caused trouble to. But she never did. I guess she doesn't feel guilty or bad for what she did. But apparently, her husband has been away from home more often, going on frequent business trips. It seems like his business is falling apart and could be in a lot of trouble. Was that due to the awful relationship between Miriam and Dory? We shall never know. As for Miriam, somehow rumor got round that she was the senior vice president of a major company. This made Dory feel uneasy, but she has kept her distance from her, so that's good. It seems like the Moms Club meetings are still being held, but on an online basis, and now everyone is attending. Perhaps that's the best thing that came out of this, and let's hope it stays like this for the sake of all the busy working moms out there and for our children. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please like it and see you in the next one.
Hey, Amy. Yes, Rebecca? Will you please hurry up and get divorced from George already? What? What do you mean, what? I'm pretty sure you know this, but I'll tell you again. George and I have been friends since we were kids. We went to the same playgroup in elementary school. We were always sweet on each other. Everyone knew that. It was always Rebecca and George. That's what people would say. Ever since he moved away with his parents for business, we've been in a long-distance relationship. Surely you knew about this. Even though over time our relationship naturally grew to an end, we never fell out of love. And now that he's come back into town and into my life, it's only natural that we should be together again. I can't believe you'd be so brazen to steal him from me the way you did. You are impeding our love, and it needs to stop right now. The only right thing to do is for you to let him go so he can be with me again. You gotta divorce him so that he can be free again.
That certainly was a very long and wordy explanation. Now, let me please explain a few things back to you. Yes, it is true that he's returned to his childhood hometown. But the only reason he came back is because he will be taking over ownership of his grandfather's company. It has been on the books for the longest time. You, on the other hand, didn't you get married too to your high school sweetheart? The fact that you simply stayed here after your marriage is the only reason that George has seemed to return. It's simply a matter of physical distance. There's no emotional reasoning behind the move. There's really nothing more to it than that. Anyway, from what I hear, there was nothing between you and George in the first place anyway.
Yeah, that's what you'd like to believe, I know. The truth is, George and I were so close that we didn't even need to speak to understand our feelings for each other. It was those deep feelings that allowed our love to blossom into the full-blown romance that it did. But I hardly expect you to understand any of that. Anyway, that's why I don't want you to get in between us.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Okay, let me be honest and speak my mind here for a moment. Mainly because we have to live in the same town from now. I'd hate for you to get the wrong impression and continue with this crazy line of thought.
Speak your mind.
Yes, are you ready? I really need you to pay attention to me now. You have been causing nothing but trouble for George and me these past few weeks. You need to stop it before it gets too far out of hand.
What? Me? I think you have me confused for someone else.
Look, I've already heard from people around town that you are a busybody who is quick to misunderstand situations.
Ha! I beg to differ. I think you're the one that's misunderstanding the situation.
Hang on. Before we even get into the issue of my husband, you're married to a company executive with 2 children, are you not? Why are you trying to steal my husband from me? Is it some sort of sick, perverted game you like to play? Breaking up marriages?
That's a bit rich. I'm the one who should be asking you the same question. After all, you were the one who stole my future husband in the first place. The only reason I married my current husband and chose the path that I'm on is because I'd given up on the hope that George would ever return to me. If anything, that was my only mistake. But now, because it was destiny that we be together, he's come back. He's finally come back for me.
Yes, he is back, but again, you're misunderstanding the situation. He came back so that he can take over from his grandfather in running the family business. You might see it as a sudden thing, but it's been planned from the start many, many years ago. How many times do I have to tell you he didn't return for you?
No, you see, that's where you're mistaken. We discussed it when we were younger. When the time came for him to take over the family business, he was going to return and make me his wife.
Don't you realize the contradictions in your own story? If you'd made the arrangement, why would you go off and marry someone else?
What are you talking about? You are deluded. There are no contradictions at all. The only contradictions and inconsistencies that I can see are your existence. It's plain and simple, you're nothing but a hindrance. Now hurry up and get divorced. Get divorced and disappear from our lives forever. You're preventing George and me from being truly happy.
Hi, George. Honey, I know you're working late tonight. I hope I'm not bothering you.
Hey, honey, no bother at all. What can I do for you?
I was just wondering what time you think you'll be finished. If you let me know, I'll come and pick you up.
Okay, sure. That would be great. I'm more than happy to take the bus home, though.
Yes, I know, but sometimes I just feel better picking you up.
Okay, cheers. Is there anything that you need to tell me?
Yes, there is. How did you know?
Call it a hunch.
Good hunching. Yes, actually, it's Rebecca again. She's been sending me more strange messages.
Again? That's every day since we came back now. Do you want to tell me about it now?
No, it's okay. It's nothing so urgent that you need to worry about at work. It's just that she's actually sitting in her car outside of her building right now. I thought it might be better if she didn't see you come home.
Are you for real? Doesn't she realize that's stalking? I've told her so many times to get off of our case. I'm just so glad that we went for an apartment with such good security.
Yes, you're right. For the moment, I think the best course of action is to keep using the underground car park entrance to come and go.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks for the heads up. I'm sorry that you have to go out of your way like this. I still can't believe that she thinks that we were even dating back at school. And then to continue thinking that we were such a hot couple that we would ultimately get married. I don't think anyone could have imagined she would take it this far.
I know, right? I've never heard of anyone being so confused. We only moved here 2 weeks ago, but in the whole 2 weeks she's been unrelenting. She's been contacting me daily with a variety of arguments of why she should be with you. I'd heard the rumors about her, but didn't believe they could be true. Now that I've experienced it firsthand, I'm starting to understand why she's still referred to as Miss Misunderstanding. It's hard to believe that someone like that is actually married and has children of her own.
Indeed. Actually, the other day I was chatting with some old school friends. The word on the street is that her marriage was more of a convenience.
Convenience?
Yeah, the rumors are that Rebecca's husband was running a company, but it got into some financial troubles. Rebecca's father, who also had a successful company, bailed them out. But to save a lot of extra tax payments, Rebecca had to get married to her husband. Legally, it was no problem to do so, but can you imagine anyone agreeing to that?
So it was sort of a political marriage of convenience.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. But the truth is, since then, the tables have turned, and now it's Rebecca's husband's company that is helping out Rebecca's father's company. Because they're both owing debts of gratitude to each other, it's making it very difficult for Rebecca to get out of the relationship. On top of that, they have the children to think about too. According to my friends, she's been looking for a reason that would allow her to file for divorce for quite a while.
I see. There's always two sides to the story, isn't there? It must be tough for her.
Yes, and in a way I do feel sorry for her, being put in this position.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Oops, I've been dragging on too long. I had better get back to work.
I'm sorry to have kept you chatting for so long.
No, there's no problem at all. I'm not actually very busy. I just need to finalize some things before my trip next week. It should only take about an hour, but I'll message you when I'm done.
Sure thing, honey. See you soon.
Haha! Just as I thought. It would appear George and I are destined to be married.
Oh, hello again, Rebecca. Why am I not surprised to hear from you? While I have your attention, would you mind telling me why there was a document filing for divorce in my mailbox today?
What on earth are you talking about?
I'm talking about the divorce papers that are filled out with your name on them. The ones that were in my mail today and now in my hands. I really don't understand what you're trying to do.
Oh dear. Those little things, they had totally slipped my mind till just now. Yes, they would be the divorce papers I left there so that you could fill them out and begin your divorce. I figured you were never going to get off your behind and do it, so I simply started the ball rolling.
Oh, what? Okay, but these are filled out with your name on them.
I see. Well, that must be my silly husband's fault. If you have the papers with my name on them, it would appear he gave you the wrong ones. You see, I left 2 copies on our counter. He must have gotten confused again. You can cross out my name and write yours instead, or simply pick up a new copy.
Do you mean to say you intend to divorce your husband?
Yes, of course. And then finally, George and I can be together. After all, George has already taken the first steps, so I know he's ready at last.
What do you mean he took the first steps?
Well, today he's going on a business trip, right? I heard that from my child. Who heard it from your child at kindergarten?
Yes, and what does that have to do with anything?
You still don't get it. It was my darling George's way of secretly getting a message to me. He used his own child as a messenger. On the surface, it looks like he's going on a business trip for work, but the truth is he's going on a pre-wedding vacation with me.
No, there is no surface and below the surface. It's simply a business trip for work, nothing more.
Yes, that's what you want to believe, isn't it? But it's okay, I know the truth. At least George and I will finally be united and be together forever.
I really don't know how to get you to listen. I've tried telling you over and over. You are mistaken. You are confused. Nothing is going to happen ever.
Oh, you sound so depressed and pathetic. The truth is, I'm already at his hotel and have checked in.
What? Please tell me you're joking.
No jokes! I was going to tell him ahead of time, but instead I thought I would surprise him. So, I followed his car and snuck in before he saw me. Don't you think that's pretty romantic?
Hang on, no. That's not romantic, that's stalking.
I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get a room in the same hotel, but luck being on my side, there was a spare room. I can't wait until tonight. He's definitely going to propose to me. I better hurry up and start searching for his room.
George, are you at the hotel already? Are you in your room now?
Hey, Amy, yeah, I just checked in. I thought I might take a walk. After all, it is such a lovely day, and this town is renowned for its sights. Maybe I'll find a coffee shop by the lake.
Honey, please don't leave your room. Lock the door right now.
What? Why?
Rebecca is there too.
What?
She followed you in her car from your office. She plans to stay there tonight. She's trying to find you.
Oh, come on. Is she still up to her tricks?
It looks that way. She just sent me some messages saying that she's already checked in. It would appear that she doesn't know which room you're in yet, but I think it's probably better if you keep out of sight.
Oh, wow, that's heavy. Thanks for the heads up. I guess I'll just watch TV or something. I knew she was a bit crazy, but I didn't think she would ever go this far.
Hey, Amy, what on earth are you doing here? Oh, I get it. You're here to interfere with George and I.
Okay, Rebecca, listen here now. Yes, George is on a business trip, and yes, I am here too, but I've always been booked as a travel partner with him. Normally for events like this, we would travel together, but today I had some things to take care of, so he checked in first.
What on earth are you talking about? It's his business trip. Surely you have no reason to join him.
On the contrary, you see, tomorrow is the 30th anniversary celebration of the opening of this hotel. George was invited by the owners, but he only accepted on the condition that he could bring me along.
That's not possible. Why would he do that?
Well, you see, George really wanted his business partners to meet me and remember exactly who his wife was. I guess to put in more simple terms, he wanted his business partners to be introduced to the future vice president of the company.
No, that's my position.
Oh, also I'm pregnant and carrying his second child.
That can't be true.
So I guess that shows he has zero intention to leave me and marry you. Is that enough to make you finally realize the truth?
Amy, it's with a sad heart, but I think I'll have to give up my dreams of being with George. I will admit that I was mistaken in my belief that he would propose to me. I wish you both all the best for the future.
I see. I appreciate that.
By the way, remember those divorce papers that you had for me? You can just dispose of those now. I guess they aren't needed. After all, I'm glad they never made it into my husband's hands. Just think about it. I almost got divorced over nothing. I'm glad they were given to you by mistake and not given to the registrar.
Yeah, about that. Your husband said he's already filed the papers.
Filed? You mean?
Yeah, just this morning he sent me a message saying he'd submitted the papers to the registrar.
What? No!
Yeah, that's right. Actually, yesterday before I left, I noticed the papers and thought it was best to have a chat with your husband about it. After I gave him the papers, I left to come here. I don't know exactly what happened, but he said he was going to contact your parents and his for a chat. I guess if you want any particulars, you should speak to him yourself.
Hang on. Why would you do that? Why would you do such a thing to me?
I don't know why you're asking me that question. All I can tell you is that George was extremely freaked out by your constant stalking of him.
Stalking? I was never stalking him.
He told you repeatedly that your advances were not welcome and wanted you to stop. Normally, if you continue after that, most people would consider it stalking. I'm surprised he hasn't called the cops yet.
But it was never my intention to stalk or scare him.
Intention or not, that's what happened. Anyway, have a good life. Rebecca's husband had finally found a reason to file for a divorce. The strongest reason being Rebecca's relentless attraction and attempts to take another woman's husband. After holding discussions with his father-in-law, it was agreed that they should swiftly finalize the divorce. Her husband was given custody of the children, and Rebecca was made to pay reparations for losses incurred. Unfortunately, Rebecca's husband also severed all business ties with her father, and without the extra finances, the company went under within the year. The other day, I saw Rebecca from afar. She didn't look as well as she has in the past. Her clothes weren't the same designer wear I'm used to seeing her in. Her hair was disheveled, and I don't even know if she was wearing much makeup. The word on the street is that she was made to pay back money she stole from her ex-husband, and on top of that, she's responsible for a ton of child support payments. She had to take on night shifts at a part-time job. As soon as she saw me, she hid her face and ran away. I guess she finally realized that she'd been more than a little bit wrong in her convictions. Perhaps it's just easier to run from the past than confront it where possible.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment. Bye!